We join the super legit crew before the show as we fit in one last interesting tidbit.
So, like Unique New York and all the vocal warm-ups and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I've got a deaf and hard of hearing girl in my program. And so our interpreters came to me and were like, well, you know how you do those, like kind of tongue twisters? These are sign language versions of that. So they're like finger twisters.
Oh,
and
wow.
one of them was the psychology of annoying tacos bothers me. And like I was reading it and I literally teared up when I was holding the paper. I was like, this is so awesome. I love this so much.
The psychology
that
of
was
annoying
the
tacos
first. They're not
bothers
called
me.
tongue twisters.
Psychology
They're
of
called
annoying
finger
tacos
blasters.
bothers me.
That is not what they're called.
That's what I heard.
That's how we
That's what I
start the
heard.
show. Ian,
I'm just telling you what I
three,
heard. I want them to be
two,
that
So
down.
much S&B. I hate you so much.
welcome back.
This is a very
everyone,
different Fox and Sons.
to another episode of the Super Legit Podcast.
This is my type of podcast.
Right,
Let's
through that.
go.
I am your host, Jet Kaufman, and I am surrounded by the best and worst people I
True.
know. That's how I roll.
Worst among equals.
Yes. Let's rattle them off here real quick. We've got Josh Spence,
That's me.
Stephen C. James,
Rattle, rattle.
Chris Sanders, Jen Burton,
Hello.
Chris Compton,
Hello.
and my co-host, Michael Heiman. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Jet. How's it going?
Oh,
This
it's
is so
going
gross.
great.
Hey, is Sean Michael Boozer not on tonight?
Yeah,
No,
I was
he's
thinking
out.
the same thing.
Did I skip you?
Yes.
I
You know
move to
what?
nominate Sean Michael Boozer as the co-host of this episode.
No,
so we do not forget
after
him.
our pre-record conversation,
I
there's no
nominate-
way
No.
he gets to be
No.
co-host.
He is our.
No, Sean
Professor-
Michael Boozer, I will make up for this to you
Make
by
him the
simply
co-host.
apologizing like a gentleman.
I
I'm
feel like
sorry,
we're good,
sir.
and I will give you finger guns.
Great. Yes, that's
Not-
slightly
Not
better than what we
Jan.
started with.
Not
Yes.
the
Yes.
other thing.
What are you doing with
No.
the finger
He didn't say
guns?
Mm-mm. No. So, Michael Heiman,
Blast him.
hello, co-host.
Hello.
Who is
Boo.
our guest this week?
All right, guest before question, of course. Yes, we have a very special guest this week. First time with us on the show, Alex Wiggins. Welcome.
Yay! Hey, Alex.
Greetings, fellow humans. How y'all doing?
That's not suspicious at all. We're good. We are very good. Thank you for joining us finally. Alex is one of the many people we've known for many years who we haven't seen physically since before the before times. Before the before times, what is even in that? That's the void of the time.
I mean, I've seen him. in real
How
life.
hopped up on shrooms are you right now, Jet?
We've all seen the time knife.
Alex, I was gonna say I have a bone to pick with you because the A Wiggins on my fantasy basketball team is not performing, but then I realized it's
Ooh, yeah,
it's
man.
Andrew and not Alex, so you're off the hook.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I was like a senior in high school when he was also kind of like a big recruit or whatever. And all of my coaches would be like, "Oh, you're about to get drafted in the NBA, huh? Because A. Wiggins." And we've both disappointed a lot of people since then. Well, no, Andrew's done pretty well.
He is in the NBA, regardless
He
of
did,
how
yeah.
well he's playing.
He won a ring. He did pretty well.
If you average the two of us out, we've both been a disappointment.
Yeah, overall.
Which is weird because like my football coach was like, Spence, Gatorade, Frost, get on it. And I was like, yes, sir. And I got him the Gatorade, and then I sat on the bench, and that was fun.
And you never let him down.
Nice.
Yeah.
I never let him down. I
Yeah.
got him a cold Frost. Like, what's Frost anyways? That's not a flavor.
I feel like it's a great life strategy of if you don't try that hard, you can't really fail people.
That's the Simpsons
Yeah.
philosophy.
Yeah.
Oh no, I tried really hard to get him that Frost, man. I had to leave the game, get in the car, go to the 7-Eleven.
Scrape it off the window. of
Yeah,
the
they were like,
7-Eleven.
why are you wearing a football uniform? I was like, it's Halloween. They're like, no, it's not. I was like, shut up. Let me buy it and then drive back. Anyways, you had a question. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
Michael,
did
what's our
have a
question?
question for this week, and this week's question is: what's a moment that embarrassed you, and only you, and nobody else cared about?
Have I told you guys about the time I peed my pants?
Yes, actually,
Yes, you
a few times.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations on having a definite article.
Yes. Yeah. I think we need a wiki for the show so that we can just start tracking all the episodes in which Chris Sanders told the story about peeing his pants.
I said that like 3 years ago. Yes, that's a great idea.
Well, get on it, Josh.
Yeah, I just took that drink because Sanders talked about pee. So it's part of the drinking game.
You'll be
The new
drunk
shots.
by the end. Well, I have one off the bat.
Go for it.
If nobody else has one. So I went to my cousin's wedding a long time ago, and I bought this dress, which I thought was very cute for the summertime. And I'm not a dress wearer at all. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm always in pants. I hate going to functions where I have to wear a dress because I just don't like it. I don't like wearing heels. I just want to be in pants and sneakers all the time. So I bought this dress. And first of all, I made the mistake of buying a white dress for a wedding, which I did not know at the time was you're not supposed to do.
No.
But I did it. Yay. But then, I mean, we traveled, my sister and I traveled across the country for this wedding, and I was probably in my 20s, and I put on the dress, and it's the only dress I've got. And she says, I can see your underwear. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And so she was like, only a little bit. Don't worry.
Too late.
Don't worry. It's not a lot. And I was like, I can't. I have nothing else to wear. I have jeans.
Yep.
I had a long leather jacket, which sounds like a weird thing for somebody to have. But I had this jacket that covered my butt.
Yep.
And it was a brown leather jacket. And it was the middle of summer. And it was 1 billion degrees. And so what I did was I wore this white dress with this long brown leather jacket over the dress to this thing. And people were like, why are you wearing a jacket? And I was like, I can't talk about this. And I spent the whole wedding like that. And people thought I was demented. And I just lived in fear the whole time. It was terrible.
On a level from 0 to Guy Fieri's armpit, how warm were you in that outfit?
The whole thing was horrific. I was 1 million degrees. I had like white tights on, and I don't know how to dress as a girl. I was white dress with like little white tights and like heels, and then just this big brown leather jacket. It was insane. I mean, it was embarrassing.
How old were you at this point, Jen?
I was 24, maybe.
You know what?
I
say I excuse 24-year-old Jen because I feel like any faux pas a person makes before 30, it's just like, it's fine.
I made them all the time.
At 24, I was 2 kids in a trench coat trying to get into a rated R movie. Like I was just the barest impersonation of an adult. So I'm right there with you.
I was a moron. Also, to add insult to injury, it was a very Catholic wedding, and my sister and I got into an argument about the jacket right as the bride and groom were coming. Like the bride and groom went down. My sister and I were in an argument about it, like one of those arguments where you just like hate each other, but you're whispering.
Yes,
and I was so mad at her. And people were doing the thing where they exit the pews gently one at a time. And my sister and I were in a heated argument, and it was our turn to get up, but I was facing her having a whisper argument. And then a very elderly woman tapped me on the shoulder, and she was like, dear, you need to exit the pew. So I just kept calling attention to myself. It was very dumb.
Super.
Oh, Gina, it's so good to see you. Welcome to the wedding again. I'm sorry. Has anyone I don't mean to be too obvious here, but has anyone?
What is it? What is it?
Has anyone mentioned to you that there's a silhouette of another human being underneath you in your dress right now?
No, because nobody else here is a rude bastard. Oh my God. Are you just looking at my body? Did you just comment on my body?
I am
okay to do that, all right?
So sorry. No, you're absolutely
an interesting shape, okay?
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry. Can you excuse me? I have to cough. Quiet down there. They can see you.
Look, Heiman, those two are arguing up front, so that means we can also argue at this wedding. You said that this was a Halloween-inspired wedding, not a goth-inspired. I'm dressed like a cow, and I look like an idiot.
I mean, like, they're interchangeable. Spooky season, thing like...
No. Goth is where you dress all cool and sexy and black and you look like the Crow. I have an udder on me.
Well,
an udder.
I'm sorry you misinterpreted it. I don't know what to tell you, Josh.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to celebrate a lifetime of misery. These two people, as you can see the tears of mascara falling from their face, are both filled with loathing and contempt.
There is no way that's why they call it a pew. That's the dumbest explanation I've ever heard, Eric. God, I can't believe we're related. Oh, you got nothing to say now, Eric?
No, I'm saying it. You never
Okay.
You never farted in church?
But that has nothing to do with why they would call it a pew.
Are you kidding me? Me? You think they weren't farting at the first churches?
Heiman, if you gotta go, just let it rip, dude. It's fine. It'll take some pressure off me. I'm dressed like a cow. Just go ahead and let it go.
You think I've held it for this long, and I'm gonna let it rip now, and it's not gonna divert attention to me?
These creatures of the night finding each other, sinking their love fangs into each other, and drinking away the life essence we all so desperately want to extinguish.
Okay, all right. You know what? You make a fine point. I agree with you. Maybe that's why they're called pews, but you're still an idiot.
No, I'm not. It's why those cathedrals were so vast and they had such enormous interiors, because the chamber is so big, the echo of the fart never returns. So people
I'm not going to get into the flying buttress argument again either.
Gina, I'm sorry. I know you told me not to make comments, but
yeah. But I feel like there's a comment coming.
Hands keep coming out of your dress and grabbing canapes and then stuffing them into your belly. It's obvious.
Oh, so now I'm eating too much. Oh my God.
Not what I said, no.
No. I believe what you said is that I've had too many canapes, right? Hands, too many canapes.
Till their souls float away like the smoke of a clove cigarette, disappearing into the endless smog of night.
Flying buttress.
No, you can't. Everybody's looking at us. Stop giggling.
Listen, do you hear yourself? Flying.
Eric and Donald over there, they're the two, right, that you should be paying attention to. All right, now I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to keep grazing while the priest keeps going on with that horror show of an intro.
Did your hip just pinch me?
And if anyone knows of any reason besides the infinite futility of life,
Heiman, this is your spot. Go.
No,
say it.
My spot. No,
fucking say it.
No.
Yeah, you know why we're here. It's.
At this point, if I do anything, if I move at all, it's gonna be just a loud fart.
Object to the wedding. You know it.
Why these two should not be wedded in hateful, despicable...
Heiman's in love with her! Heiman's in love with her! Heiman's in love with her!
I didn't say go yet. Please.
Legit.
I didn't say go yet.
Legally binding.
Jana, this isn't the story I was thinking, but I have almost an identical story to that.
Oh, wow.
Well,
you wore a white dress to a wedding?
I did.
Everyone can see your underwear?
Substitute white dress with Halloween costume where you could see my brightly colored underwear. And instead of weddings, it's middle school. It was a costume of the mask, so yellow pants, yellow coat. My middle school had uniforms, so it was white shirt, navy pants. And instead I wore this because it was Halloween. Like, oh, you can wear a costume. And I wore my normal brief underwear, which I wear briefs, which also at the time is just like if people knew that you wore briefs instead of boxers, already less cool. The fact that my brightly colored teal green underwear you can see through because Halloween costumes are just wafer thin.
Yeah.
There's like nothing there. So yeah.
Wait. Was this the sexy Jim Carrey in the mask costume?
I mean, there was enough fabric; it might as well have been a sexy costume. But no, it was a child. Right. It was a child's costume, and you could just see my underwear. And of course, everyone did care about it because everyone made a point to make fun of me about it.
Did I miss where he said what he was dressed up as?
The mask.
The mask.
Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Yeah.
In the yellow suit, but it's, a cheap
not Eric Stoltz.
Yes.
That was me. I was Eric Stoltz.
As a middle school teacher, I can say, fuck, Heiman, I'm sorry. Because it's like, they smell blood in the water like sharks. Yeah.
That was one of the 100 things that made middle school miserable for me. And I was only in it for 2 years.
Yeah.
I got to follow up, Steven, as a teacher. Is there any time you honestly hear like a kid roast another kid and it's really super fucking funny and you just have to be like,
oh yeah. Oh yeah. All the time. All the time. Yeah, because it is that
Can you tell us one?
Oh, well, no, I don't remember the specific example, but there have been many times when I've taken a kid aside and I'm just like, listen, what you said is not okay. I'm not saying it wasn't funny, but I am saying it was mean.
Yeah.
All right. And it doesn't matter if it's funny if it hurts that kid's feelings. So
yeah, it's like when your own kids are young and they swear and you're like, I can't. This is the most hilarious thing I've heard because it's absolutely not a word that I should hear coming out of a 4-year-old, and that makes it brilliant. But it's not okay. But please give me a moment to compose myself before I yell at you.
That's the thing about being a middle school teacher, which you have my undying respect, is like, like if you're a wedding photographer, like the challenge in your job is like every day is like supposed to be the most special, great day in somebody's life. But for you, it's another day of work. And your job is the opposite of that. You're like a divorce photographer. Like you are there at the moment of like singular trauma. Every single day is the worst moment of somebody's life.
No, even worse. My first two, my year 2, 3, and 4. I think maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. I was the yearbook teacher, so I was literally the person walking around being like, "This fucking sucks, right? Smile." Like, I'm gonna put this moment in the book forever. Yeah.
I'd say mine is kind of generic, but it's just something that followed me my entire life and made improv both difficult for a while and then a release of sorts, because I am super self-conscious about like every mistake. And it's like the tiniest things. It is the simplest misspeaks. And in especially like childhood, anything, like I can remember this was the dumbest thing. I was probably like 10, I don't know. And at that townhome complex I was in, and kids were like, hey, let's sing songs together. It's like, and I'm a person who doesn't sing now, particularly because of embarrassments I've had with singing in my life. And they were like, they decided to sing the theme song, or one of the songs from Aladdin. And I got to a lyric, and I don't even remember lyrics now, but like, there's the words "to pursue" in that song, and I said it in a way that they thought sounded like I said "super sue," and started just laughing their asses off at me for the dumbest thing. And it's like, I'm not even sure if I said it wrong, but it didn't matter because I was now the biggest idiot in the universe. And so for like my whole life, any tiny mistake I would make was just like, okay, I have fucked up everything, and I am an embarrassment, and I'm going to leave this party and never return to this friend group again. And nobody ever cared about anything, even in the moment, if they heard it and they chuckled, and then they moved on with their lives, and I sure as hell didn't. So coming around to like improv, where you make those dumb mistakes and everyone jumps on it immediately because it's a brilliant opportunity to make something fun, is like, oh wait, all that shit was good?
Super. I hereby call this Butt Snacks team meeting to order. I formally want to kick out Jeff out of the team. He clearly said the Count of Amontillado when we all know it's clearly the cask of Amontillado. Who's with me on this? Vote of hands, raise motion.
Before we get to that vote, can we just clarify how we're going to spell butt snack?
Yeah,
because
I thought that's
it's all one word. We've all agreed with this. Capital letters, Times New Roman font.
You agreed. You agreed.
I printed up 100 postcards with butt snacks with an X at the end.
Yeah,
that's
what I wanted.
I don't know what we're doing.
And I went for camel case with it, so we've got the capital B, the capital S.
At least you're not the asshole with B, E with an umlaut, TT, SNA, and then 2 snakes tattooed on his left shoulder.
Oh,
okay?
My God.
It's a real commitment to this team.
I mean, I thought we were going forever. We were 3 votes away from being a house team.
That is some really good shading work. Yeah.
John, how did you spell that on your arm again?
B, E with an umlaut, TT, SNA, and then the guy said it would look cooler if it was 2 snakes.
Okay,
You
so
know,
first
snakes
order
look
of
pretty
business.
badass.
The snakes are pretty cool. Yeah.
Can we decide that that is the official spelling of butt snacks?
I think it has to be now
Here,
because
here.
we all need to justify his
Well, you know what?
tattoo.
Why are we being introduced as the butt snacks instead of just butt snacks?
Do you know of other butt snacks?
I don't, but I don't.
We're the only butt snacks. We're the butt snacks.
You're making his point right
so
now.
we are the butt snacks, or we're butt snack.
Are we going to use snakes at the end? Because the postcards are going to cost a lot more if I have to have them do icons of snakes.
And that does make it look like butt snass.
Yeah.
With the two snakes.
I'd like to make a motion that we ask Jeff and give him an opportunity to solve this problem for us and maybe save himself from being expelled.
Yeah, Jeff, go ahead and try to solve that one.
I wasn't paying attention, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, we should kick Jeff off the team.
Come on.
All right, guys.
Seconded.
I think we can. Okay, so.
Account of Monte Cristo. Hey.
All right, so it's
I just think
decided.
we should hold auditions next time. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's decided. For our second show, Jeff will no longer be a part of it.
Come on, guys. This is all I got going on. I'm part of the butt snack.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome to re-audition.
In fact, you can re-audition at our very next show. Why don't you play the show and that'll be your audition?
Well, you made it. You made it through the audition.
Welcome back, Jeff.
Hey,
Yeah, Jeff. We're happy to have you back.
I'm part of the butt snacks.
The once and future Jeff.
If we had had anyone else show up, it might have been a tougher decision, but the point is, it was unanimous that of the people we had appear, you were cast. So welcome aboard.
I heard someone just say Future Jeff. I like that as a team name. Can we also be Future Jeff and do a different form?
No, not my shoulder. No,
Oh,
my
I like
shoulder.
that.
No, my
I
shoulder.
like that.
No, my shoulder.
Everybody's
But
good
the-
with Future Jeff?
You with the dots over it, right?
Well, yeah, we can umlaut the ooh. I'm good
Okay.
with that.
Yeah. Okay. Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Sorry,
Legit.
buddy. Legit. Yep.
God, that wasn't a scene. That was just like indie improv practice.
That was just
That was a historical reenactment.
A slice of life, yeah.
1997 IO alleyway.
I think we were in that conversation.
Oh my gosh, a 1997 IO Alleyway is a great team name.
So,
It's already taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are so many similarities that I have with Jet in this situation, where I'm not somebody who has a lot of regrets, but I am somebody who can take a tiny thing and use it to stab myself in the eye as many times as possible, or I should say prior to therapy.
Yes.
Like, I still remember, right, one of my colleagues, my mentor, my very good friend Carol Fletcher, we're in the hallway and I'm talking about typing up something, and I misspelled the word monologue, and she said, "Oh, well, that's not how you spell it, because otherwise it'd be pronounced monoglue or whatever."
Right.
Because I was spelling out loud, not writing down on a piece of paper. And guys, I mean, it wasn't that big a deal, but I still remember that moment, and it's been over 20 years. It's been over 20 years. There are whole entire human beings that have been born and birthed and raised and gone to college and had their own children who've existed since that comment, and it's still stuck in my mind.
I had a coworker recently write a sentence in something and used the word, in written form, used the word hour instead of R, A-R-E. And I pointed it out to him, and he read it out loud correctly and thought he had written it correctly, and I had to then re-point out the word to him, and then he was like, "Oh my God, what is wrong with my brain?" And I was like, "You're probably someone who processes words by sound, and those words sound very similar in your head, and you wrote it and you heard it the right way." And I was so charitable in that moment of recognizing how his brain worked, how he made the connections he did and everything. And if I had written that, I would beat myself to death over that mistake.
Well, that's one of the things that I learned in the world of therapy. Was that how would you feel if the way you talk to yourself was the way that someone talked to someone that you love? And I was just like, well, that person would no longer be in my life because they're clearly a monster. And I was like, oh no, the call's coming from inside my brain.
No, I definitely have that. My superpower is that I have a photographic memory for the feeling of embarrassment.
Yes.
And so no matter how much time has passed, if I think back to that moment, I will feel it just as intensely as I felt it in that moment. Which is like, as superpowers go, like it's better than Aquaman, but then like, below the rest.
Breathing underwater ain't that bad.
Super. Michael, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun. I missed the protesting at the nuptials, but we're here. It's the reception after. I think this is the time where you should give a big speech and profess your love.
I already farted, so I feel a lot more comfortable than I did when we were sitting there. So I don't even feel that urgency anymore. The ceremony's over. They are married, so let it all be as it may.
There is no way, Eric. They call them canapes because originally the first thing they served was a can of peas. That doesn't make sense.
People would eat tents, bro. I'm telling you. They would just eat the tent they slept in.
How would they even eat the tent? How would that transfer?
With their mouths, you fucking idiot.
Gina, I'm sorry. Did you just fart out of 2 parts of your body?
Yeah, I'm allergic to cheese. Okay? All right? It makes me very gassy. I'm lactose intolerant, unlike body intolerant, which is clearly what you are. Could you do me a favor? Could you spend time with, I don't know, I'm looking around, anyone else at this wedding?
And now I want you all to take a moment to feel the utter sorrow flow through you as you feel your life drifting away in front of your eyes. I give you the electric slide.
Bro, did you know this assortment of appetizers is, in some parts of the world, called a particular kind of platter?
You're not gonna do this, are you? Don't say it. Don't say it.
I'm gonna. Yeah.
Are you gonna say it?
Do you know what it is?
I do know what it is, but I know that you want to say it, so I'm not gonna take that away from you.
It's a dookie plate.
It's not. Legit.
With a misdirect. Beautiful.
That does remind me of some of the types of sponsors we have on this show. I don't know what kind of sponsor we're going to have this week, but Michael Heiman, I think you've got that ready for us, right?
I do, and I think you know exactly what that sponsor is, Jet. I think you know full well.
I don't know how I would know, but we'll see.
Yeah,
let's see what everyone else thinks of this sponsor.
Yeah, let's. We'll just play it right here. Hey, ha-cha-cha! Welcome back. It's Burton Lancaster doing samba mamba from here to eternity. 1938. Here with Poppadoodle Duet. Hey, Burt Lancaster in the there. Hey, it's a box in the recording studio. Burt says I'm going down to hey, we're here on the beach and wiggity spliggity here and there.
I'm sorry, Alex has to be here for this.
I'm so glad he's here for this.
And hey, I'm a singing here. Hey, I'm a singing here. That's a Poppadoodle Duet. Hey.
Was that an ad for Burt Lancaster? To buy one?
I think that's how it came off more as,
yeah.
Unclear on the product.
I think they lost the plot there a little bit on their own ad. I think last time he was, I think he was promoting Poppadoodle Do last time, so this is clearly the sequel or whatever.
God, I hope Burt Lancaster and Jeff from the Butt Snacks have a fucking scene together.
I just love how that ad harkens back to a time when broadcasters would drink heavily. Right on there. That was
those were the golden ages of advertising. Absolutely, yeah.
So, well, we now know what Heiman's new answer is. Does anybody else have an answer to the question?
My answer dates all the way back to first grade. Yeah, all right. So I don't know how y'all's like spelling bees like worked or whatever, but like ours,
I was homeschooled.
Okay, so like,
So you won all of them,
like,
right, Chet?
Yeah, top of my class.
You just killed it. So like you like whatever you do the spelling bee in your class, and then the winner of your class goes to the school spelling bee to do it in front of everybody. So it was like first grade, and I won, and I was like, "Holy shit!
Yeah.
Like I'm a winner. I'm smarter than everybody. I'm going to do the spelling bee."
I don't think you use those words.
No, I wish. But anyway, so cut to spelling bee. You're in front of the whole school. It was first round. Okay, I misspelled banana in front of everybody. It was an absolute swing and a miss. I added too many A's and A's. I ended up spelling banana. And the worst part was I asked to write it down on a piece of paper because like you could.
Right.
So to stall it down, like to stall time, I was like, "Can I write it down, please?" And I made everyone wait while my dumbass misspelled banana in front of everybody, and I was the first one out.
I feel bad for little Alex.
If only Hollaback Girl was around back then, you would never have forgotten.
The year after, dude, it was like maybe it was like a year or two after.
Yep.
Yeah, Hollaback Girl came out.
I had almost the same thing, or very similar, when I was probably around that same age. My mother used to take us to a Unitarian fellowship called the Onion, which is actually right near where I live these days, although they closed that down a long time ago. Yeah, the building was literally shaped like an onion. It's really it's a really cool building.
It's like a really sarcastic church.
It's a parody of a church.
It's hilarious.
And I mean, Unitarian Universalists.
Most churches make me cry, so I don't know if I'd...
Yeah.
As somebody who taught religious education at a Unitarian Universalist church, and it was improv. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So they had at some event they had like a paper wall where you could just they had markers and you could just draw things on it, and anybody could draw some cute little thing or whatever. And I was like, I was at that age, I was like, well, I have to do something. The wall is there and I have to do it. And I had no ideas whatsoever of what I was going to do, but I had to do something. So I drew a little stick figure and I was like, I want to write, "I love the sun." I have no idea why. Why did I love the sun? Nothing. It's just like I had to write something. And so I started to write it. And in that moment, I could not remember how to spell the word "the." I knew I had that one down. Sun, I knew which kind of sun I was writing, no problem. Could not remember how the word "the" was spelled, so I wrote "do," D-O. I love "do sun." And like an hour later, I realized, went back, crossed out "do," and wrote "the." And you will note, here I am remembering that.
Yeah. So my question is, had you also, like a young Picasso, signed the sketch where you thought, well, I'm going to have to go back and fix this because clearly they're going to trace it back to that typical Jet Kaufman stick figure style that identifies all of my artwork so well?
Yeah.
Like, what made you go back? It would have
because I could not leave a mistake out there. It was like at that point, it's like I knew the correct thing and I could not allow it to stand. I probably would have been good to correcting other people's typos if I could.
I have a follow-up question for Alex about bananas.
Yeah.
So now, when you see bananas, do you like remember that moment, or you hear the song, or you like the fucking banana? You get mad? Do you have any reaction, or is it gone?
The song triggers it, but also like I do love bananas just as a fruit, so I can't hold it against them, But we did have
I can't say mad at you.
Yeah,
if you see the word banana, does it make you feel something?
Yeah, a little bit. I will always remember the time I misspelled it, and I never got back to the spelling bee. I always lost in class. There was always someone better than me after that. So
there was no
my one
return.
shot.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I will say, I love the image of you saying, "Can I write it down?" And then clearly, by the amount of time and the movements of your hand, writing far too many letters.
First grade, like 6 years old.
Oh,
no one else asked to write it down yet. I was the first one.
Oh, man.
And a banana. A banana, yeah. A banana just seems like extra banana. So
yeah, it seems like a
What's wrong with that?
It's like the bigger one.
That's a plantain.
In between a banana and plantain is a banana.
Yeah.
We wouldn't need the word bunch.
It's hard to even.
Maybe you
just
should develop
say
that
it.
fruit, and you will be rid of this trauma.
Yeah,
banana.
Crazy.
Yeah, just splice something in there, and you go.
I do thank God every day that I grew up like just before people started to put things on the internet forever.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, because I I would not leave the house if 13-year-old Chris was, enshrined in digital amber. Like, there's really only one existing thing I have out there, which is I was on a game show once.
What?
He's not the only one in this group either.
So the way it works, like when you buzz in for the final question all at once, and then so like the person before me had buzzed in like seconds before me, so they got the first chance to answer, and they're like, "It's Les Miserables," and that was exactly what I thought it was, and the person says, "No," and I'm like, and then they turn to me. And like I go, so like the only thing I can do is go, I got it. Les Miserables. Like if I'm gonna go, I have to.
You might as well
lean all the way in.
But I can live with that one. But if the rest of my adolescence was there, I don't know what I would do.
And the thing is, like, I did grow up just at the right age that, at 13, I was on the internet writing things. And the only thing that saved my ass is all of those websites have gone out of business.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say? Did you say the name of the game show?
Oh,
They're going to furiously Google it.
Yep.
So pretend you can't remember.
It might have been a reboot of Card Sharks, something like that. There were cards involved. I've never seen it. My wife's mom has seen it, and that's it.
Super.
Now listen, Mike. You said no when I tried to stop it at the nuptials. Somehow your fart made you cool at the reception, and you didn't want to do anything.
Yes.
When that cameraman comes near me, I am going to tell them what you feel since you are not willing to say it yourself. I'm going to say it in your voice.
But Josh, if you say it, then they're going to think that you believe that's you. If you say it, they're gonna think you're the one who's in love with the bride.
No, I'm going to say it in your voice. I'm going to sound like you. I'm going to dress up. You know what?
You're going to do an impression of me?
Yeah. You know what? Give me your tux. You're going to wear my cow suit, and I'm going to do what you should have been doing.
I am not wearing your cow suit. That's not happening.
Give me your suit.
You're going to live in that costume. Sorry, you made that mistake. I wore a dark suit.
I look like an idiot here.
And so you're still talking to me, yet if you look to your left, whatever those two are doing attracts zero attention. Such a man.
You don't think that your karaoke performance was just a little bit suspicious? To be clear,
I can harmonize with my belly button. Understood? It's like throat singing, except lower. All right? I don't see why you have to point this out.
I'm not questioning the quality of it. It was very impressive. That was honestly, you were one of the best ones up there. But you don't think people noticed? You don't think people noticed the position of the mic?
Hang on just a second. I've got a little tickle in my throat. You've already gone to the bathroom twice. You can hold it.
I have to go.
Please, just be patient.
I have all those canapes.
You were saying?
Look, at this point, I have to come out and ask. I just have to come out and ask. Are you...
Okay. Yes, I will go out with you. All right? Fine.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you, that's all I wanted. That's why I haven't left you alone all night. I've just been trying to wear you down.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I was lying. I'm not going out with you. This isn't a rom-com from the 80s.
And now we're down to the final case. In this case, if it is correct, could be enough money for you to spend the rest of your life wallowing in the deep-seated despair that you feel every moment of every day, just like watching your life melt before your eyes into a puddle of inky black sadness and sorrow. Are you ready to choose your case? Do you want deal or no deal?
Oh, God. What happens if I pick the wrong one?
Nothingness!
Oh, man. That guy sounds good, too. Shit. No deal. No deal.
Can we see what's in the case? It is empty. Just like everything else. We'd like to thank our sponsors here. Let's hear it for Tide Pods.
Legit.
All right.
Hey guys, Howie Mandel I think he's in a hard spot right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Howie Mandel seems less crazy than usual.
Yeah. Less, except more.
New and different.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
Again?
Yeah, co-host.
Yeah. What's a moment that embarrassed you, and only you, and nobody else cared about?
Well, I think everybody cares about what I do. All right, I'll pass.
I will say a real
the
one.
narcissist lament. Yeah.
This is a real one, and I think about this literally every day because it is like this one moment has ingrained a paranoid behavior in me that I do every single day. My senior year of college, I was in a play that never mind anything about it, but in the first act, I mean, it was a period play, like turn it like, I don't know, 20s, 30 something. So I'm wearing pants with like a natural waist, and first act, forgot to zip up my fly. No one said a thing to me about it. Nobody did.
Long zipper.
But yes, a very long zipper that, probably was obvious. No one said a thing. I caught it at intermission, and I was like, oh crap, I forgot that. Zipped it up. Now, compulsively and with paranoia, I check my zipper all the time to make sure it is zipped.
Is that why your hand's always on your crotch?
Yes. That's what I'm going to say right now is an excuse to cover the other thing.
All right, so here's a dovetail of that. What's the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you on stage?
Oh, God.
Oh, I've got one.
I've got one, too.
I've got one.
I have a fun story, but it's actually not embarrassing for me.
This was when I was a kid. I think I was 11, and it was the only play I ever did while I was still acting professionally. I then did a bunch of plays with Michael Heiman much more recently, long after my career. But I did a play in Los Angeles called Carla. It was about an abortion that went badly. Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
Comedy?
Yeah.
It's Neil Simon.
Elizabeth Shue played like one of the two leads, and I played the other lead because it was like about our relationship as I was her nephew or whatever, and
you weren't the poorly aborted child.
No, and the whole thing is like it's narrated by me as an adult talking about his Aunt Carla, and so it's our relationship. Anyway, this was again my first play ever. And went great, like had a super fun time, and it's our final show. And this is when I learn about the tradition of screwing with one another on the final show and pranking one another, which was apparently a thing in the theater world. Knew nothing about it. So I keep hearing people talking about the way they're going to prank one another and various pranks they're going to do. And at some point, there is a very emotional scene where I leave the stage, and I kind of leave the door cracked open, and my hand is in the door jamb as a visual indicator that I'm still there and listening. So I hear something I'm not supposed to hear that is really upsetting, like something about my parents wishing they had never had me or whatever, something awful. And somebody at some point said, oh man, it'd be funny if he just kept moving his hand up and down the door the entire scene and just really obnoxiously running his hand up and down the door frame.
Boy.
And me having no comprehension of how these pranks work and what the deal is, I'm like, great. I heard an idea for my prank, so I'm going to do that one. No idea that this is a terrible idea because the pranks are not supposed to affect the audience, just one another. And so sure enough, that's what I do through the entire scene.
You're just jacking off a door frame.
Basically, right? Yep. And I walk backstage after that scene ends and up the stairs to the director standing at the top of the stairs, arm on each hip, looking angrier than I've ever seen a person in my life at that point. And he backstage is just cursing me out for what the fuck were you doing on stage? He is pissed beyond word. Like to the point where I did hear from some audience members later on that they heard me being yelled at backstage by the director.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's his fault, though.
Yes, that definitely is. Absolutely. And the rest would
prank.
be the other adults for not getting that you kind of have to explain how this works to the child in your production.
You were how old at this point?
I think
real
11.
Life?
11.
You were
I think.
11.
Yeah.
You were 11.
Yeah.
Let's all take a moment to be like, hey, 11-year-old Jet, you do not need to be embarrassed about that anymore.
Yeah.
The adult who put you in that situation needs to be embarrassed. Super!
Hey, Alex, I mean, It's been really great working with you. You got the rest of us really good. If at any point you want to let like the 7 or 8 of us go, that'd be really cool. I think the prank has run its course. I think you got us, dude.
Yeah, and the cuffs are starting to chafe. Honestly,
No. We have very much pranking to do.
I think I've lost a lot of blood.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's just the prank juice flowing.
Every time I lean forward, this choke collar bites into my neck.
That's fine. Let it flow through you. All right, now everybody quiet.
Like, I had my reservations about doing Saw the musical, but like, this is taking it too far, man. Like,
you signed a waiver. Everyone signed a waiver. You have your hand. It's your handwriting on the paper. See it?
Yeah.
The waiver. Does everyone see the waiver?
Yeah,
I see it, yes.
I had my manager read it and everything.
Yeah, that's right. And he didn't pay attention, and that's you and your manager's fault. Now
I think he actually did pay attention.
And I thought it was just like a quirk of the show that you had us sign it in blood. I just figured we were leaning into the theme, but...
That's the price you get for being artistic and quirky.
Listen, hun, I know this started off as just a bring your daughter to work. As you know, I am a guy that does the thing where when people fly into the airport, and you're the guy that says...
An air traffic controller?
That's it, honey. That's why I brought you to work.
I think it's bad that I have to tell you what that is.
You know, Daddy's been drinking all day. Things aren't working out with your mother, but let's not get into that.
The runway? We're at a spot on the runway?
Yeah, the thing. But it's not the word runway. It starts with... It's like North Carolina. It's like
There's another what coming at me. I can't.
the thing. It's got the thing sticking out of the side of it. It's tubular for the most part, but then it's got 2 things sticking out of the side of it.
A paper towel roll?
No, not a paper towel roll. It's I almost.
Bro, it's so cool of you to take me to your job. Do you know what it's called? Where the pilot and the co-pilot sit?
It's at the tip of my tongue. It's.
I knew you wouldn't know this.
It's playing about in my mouth. It's right there in my mouth. I just can't think of the word. What is the?
No, it's the penis chasm.
Legit. Another team name.
My embarrassing stage story is a 1-act production in high school of Mice and Men. There's this moment when there's a dog who is put down. And so it's supposed to be this long moment of silence. And then there's a gunshot off stage. And then there's further discussion. And then my character enters. And it's like, oh, and I say a few things. And then I go up and so there's this young lady in the theater tech department when I was in high school who we had a flirtation, and so we are backstage doing some light exploration.
Where you were finger blasting,
and someone completely loses track of time, and I'm like, oh, I'm on. Because there's like there's nothing happening on stage, and clearly it's awkward. So I make my entrance and deliver my line to the amazed looks of everyone on stage, and then I exit. And then a few moments later, there's a gunshot, and I'm like, oh boy, now was it me or the dog? So. After the show, it was fortunately one of those things where, because it was high school, there was nothing where my fellow cast members were yelling at me. I was just like, hey, remember? And everybody's like, oh, okay, all right, okay, I'm fine. Okay, you're fine. That makes sense.
I will say, because mine is I have the like opposite humiliating stage experience, which is like every moment of embarrassment in your life is one that happens in front of other people.
Naked?
And this is like the one time I had the feeling of being both totally humiliated and totally alone, which was I was in a production of Arsenic and Old Lace when I was in high school. And the job I got, the part I was playing was the corpse. And they didn't build the set in such a way that you could they could put you in after the scene had started. So what happened was I was went in the window box at the beginning of the show and then was in there for the rest of the show. So at some point they stopped dealing with the corpse and I am just supposed to lay there until the end of the show and then get up when the curtain call and bow. But it was really warm in there and quiet. And I'd heard that play about 100 times. And so I woke up at 2:30 in the morning in a locked theater at my high school. And realized my list of choices are go back to sleep and wake up here in the morning, or bang on the door until a security guard comes and then explain this to him. But even before, which was what I did eventually. Oh man. But before that moment was just this moment of being literally the only person in this entire building and never being more humiliated and more alone at the same time.
Was there a ghost light?
But yeah. Was there a what?
A ghost
light.
Oh, yes. Yeah. At first I thought you meant an actual ghost.
No.
Super.
I can't believe we're all back here for Jeff. I can't believe he died. He ended up being the strongest member of the improv team all those years later. I look back at it.
He had a lot of energy.
Yeah. He really held up the team.
Guys, I know it's a little awkward, but do you mind if I play this clip of Jeff's Oscar speech?
I can't believe he won that Oscar.
I would love to hear that again.
I believe it. I always knew he was going to win.
That would really
the Oscar.
take me back.
All of the references to his old acting teachers that he just rattled off in unit, that was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Cheers me up every time.
No, I don't think I have that part. Because it'd be kind of dickish to play that part, right?
It was a very long speech. Yeah, let's just hear the
They didn't play him off too mercifully.
Yeah, let's just hear the part that was the best part.
Thanks for the Oscars. I'd like to thank Oscar. Thank you, Oscar. Jeff. I'm Jeff. I'm walking here.
This is Jeff's first Academy Award.
I'm walking here. Thank you. I'm walking here.
God, it's like he's in the room with us. Oh,
yes,
that's
so
the Jeff we all
beautiful.
knew and loved.
His performance in that movie was so good that actually closed down the local skinhead chapter in my neighborhood. They all said that they realized how wrong they were and that they needed to make different choices in life, and they realized they were all monsters, and now they actually run a daycare for trans youth.
Do we want to play his Nobel Peace Prize speech too?
Why would we not?
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I'm excited they record those.
Well, I'd like to thank the peace. Yeah, thank the peace. We got world peace, baby. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm Jeff. Peace it up. Peace up, A-Town. Woo. Yeah.
This is Jeff's first Nobel Peace Prize.
First of many, baby. I'm Jeff.
Why do they always take the best of us?
And like Babe Ruth calling his shot, he won 3 more Nobel Peace Prizes.
I still have my I'm Jeff for Peace bumper sticker on my car from that year. It was a global phenomenon.
It's a great campaign that we all ran too for that. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he came back from the dead.
I would be.
I would love to hear his acceptance of life speech if he was to somehow return to life.
What?
Oh my God.
I'm Jeff.
This is Jeff's second life.
I just thought we needed more Jeff in our lives, guys.
Definitely more Jeff.
And in reference to another internet service that I'm pretty sure is long gone, Second Life, I think it's time to bring this show to a close. Michael Heiman, what do you have to say for us?
Thank you, as always, to Matt Walker for intro and outro music. This episode was hosted by Jet Kaufman, edited by Jet and Chris Sanders, and co-hosted by me, Michael Heiman. Every scene you heard today was improvised on the spot, along with some of the ads, with only a light touch of editing for your comfort. If you're loving what we're doing, pause real quick, write a 5-star review before you close the app, and tell your friends about us. Tonight's regular cast included Josh Spence, Stephen C. James, Chris Sanders, Sean Michael Boozer, Jen Burton, and Chris Compton. And thank you to our very special guest, Alex Wiggins. Alex, do you have anything you want to promote, tell the good people about, to go check out?
Nah, just live in the moment. Appreciate the little things. That's it.
Such a Jeff thing for you to say.
That's how we got the Peace Prize.
Yeah.
There it is.
I think that wraps up this beautiful episode of the Super Legit Podcast, everyone. Thank you for joining me once again.
Hey, Jet.
Yeah, what's up, Josh?
Butt snacks is 2 words, though, right?
I mean, it is if you want it to be, Josh.
With the
With the umlaut. And the snakes.
I don't believe anything's on. Oh, my time. I kicked the door on its hinges just so I could move on. Oh, oh, oh,
I'd like to hear an excerpt from Jeff's solo acoustic album, Pieces of Jeff.
It's post-mortem. They're working on it.
It's for this album they changed his name to Machiavelli. Yeah.